I don't even really know exactly what this book about. I cannot talk. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Avery from A Very Avid Reader, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have never been here before, what's up? I hope that you enjoy your time, enjoy your stay. I'm sorry that it's been a few weeks since I posted a video, but it's been kind of a crazy few weeks for me. I got back from my study abroad in the UK, and then I came back and I started class and 2 jobs right away, so I've just been super slammed. But I'm very excited to be filming this video for you guys today. And this video is going to be a haul, and specifically a haul of books that I picked up while I was in the UK. So I came back with 9 books from the UK, which didn't do great things for the weight of my suitcase. But I just feel like I needed to buy some British literature while I was there. You know, it would have been a shame to come back and not have brought any books with me. Anyway, that's how I'm justifying the situation. So I read 2 of the books in the haul, and I'll give you a little bit of a review of what I thought of them as I talk about them, but the other books I haven't read yet. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm not going to be showing these in any particular order, like the order that I picked them up. This is just the first one that's in my stack, and it is 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. So this book is super well known and popular, and I actually read this one while I was there and on my trip home when I was in the airport and stuff like that, because it was a pretty quick read because it is just a bunch of letters. This follows the author, Helene. In 1949, she begins a correspondence with a bookseller in London, and she lives in New York and basically asks them for books that she's unable to find in New York, and this starts a, I believe, like 20-year correspondence between her and this bookstore, specifically with Frank Dole, who is the man in the bookstore who she corresponds with, but she does talk to multiple people in the bookstore. And it's just a really cute book about reading, about love of reading, and about friendship between people that have never met before and how it can cross oceans. This book also includes the sequel, which is called The Duchess of Bloomsbury Street, which is about when Helene actually travels to London, and it's about her times there. It's also like a memoir, and she talks about what she does, who she meets, and it's really heartwarming. Personally, I really liked the sequel about her time in London more than I liked the 84 Charing Cross Road, the letters, but I thought they were both really cute. Plus, look at how cute this version of the book is. It's adorable. The next book that I picked up is The Appeal by Janice Hallett, and this book is really interesting, and it looks really interesting because of the format of the book. It's basically a murder mystery, and it's about 2 people trying to solve this mystery. I honestly don't know much about like the murder and what the context behind the murder is, but I thought it was really interesting because the entire book is written in emails and text messages, and just it's not written like a normal book, and so I thought that was really interesting. So you kind of figure out what's going on through other people's correspondence, and I just thought that's super cool. I've never really read a book with that type of format, so yeah, I'm excited to read this one. The next book that I picked up is The Pursuit of Love by Nancy Mitford. So this book follows 2 cousins, Linda and Fanny, as they try to navigate life and love, and I'm pretty sure it takes place in the 20s but also the 40s, so that's a really interesting time period. I haven't read much from that time period besides like The Great Gatsby. And I'm also really excited to read this because I know that they just came out with a movie or series on Amazon starring Lily James, and I love Lily James. Literally every movie she's ever been in, amazing. So I'm really excited to read this one. I love books about love, and that is what this entire book is about. It's about these 2 cousins who I think are really different in their pursuits of love, and even though they're best friends, and them just trying to navigate life and love together. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this one. I'm gonna say that about all the books because I wouldn't have bought them if I wasn't excited to read them. The next book, and the other book that I have actually read in this haul, is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So I actually started this book in the airport on my way back to the States, and I read the entire thing on the airplane. So this book is about a woman named Nora who in the first chapter of the book kills herself, which is not a spoiler because it happens very early on. And so this book does deal with suicide, so definitely be warned if that's something that is triggering for you. But she wakes up in this midnight library where she is able to see different versions of her life and what would have happened if she had made different decisions. So she's able to go into each of those lives and kind of figure out where she went wrong in her life and what choices eventually led her to make the decision that she did. Don't be fooled, even though I read the entire thing on the airplane. It's not because I was super obsessed with it. I was just kind of reading it to read it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I really liked the premise of the book, but I thought the execution was kind of poor. I just thought it was extremely predictable. Halfway through the book, I feel like you already know what she's gonna do and how it's gonna end. And so I just felt like I was kind of sitting through the rest of the book, just reading all of these different things that she does, and I'm like, I know how this book is gonna end, and I was right. It's very predictable. So that's why I wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't think I would recommend it to anyone just because, I don't know, I don't like predictability. I like to be surprised with the endings of my books. Even if you have an idea of what you think is gonna happen, you don't wanna guess like all of the single steps that are going to take place before the ending happens, and I feel like that's exactly what happened in this book. But it was pretty good. I'll probably give it like 3 stars. I don't know, maybe 2. I don't know. It was very predictable, and I did not like that. Let me know if you've read this book, what you thought about it. The next 3 books are some classic literature, and the first one is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. And this book has been on my TBR for a long time, so I was very excited to be able to pick it up. And the store that I got it at, I think I only got it for like £3 or £4, which is really cheap. Oh, it says it right here, £3. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what this book is about. I know that it is a classic novel that I think came out in like the 1850s, and it does have an aspect of romance, and it follows a heroine. It says it's about a heroine who moves from the tranquil southern England to the turbulent north. And it says that Gaskell uses an unusual love story to show how personal and public lives were woven together in a newly industrial society. Sounds like it might be similar vibes to Jane Austen, with some commentary on society through the use of romance and love and relationships. So I'm down for that. I love that. But yeah, I was excited to find it for £3 since it's been on my list for a long time. The next 2 that I got are both Jane Austen, and the first one that I got is her teenage writings, as well as Lady Susan, the Watsons, and Sanditon. I don't know if I've said this in a previous video, but the course that I was taking at Oxford was focused on Jane Austen, so we read all Jane Austen work, and it was amazing. I think I'm going to make a separate video on what I studied and just Jane Austen's works in general. But one of the things that we read was Lady Susan, and I read it on my Kindle because I bought all of her works on my Kindle in a package so that I could bring it around easily with me so I could read and move around at the same time and not have all the books to lug around. But Lady Susan was absolutely hilarious, and I decided I wanted to have a hard copy because I have all 6 of her novels, but I want to have her other works as well. So I thought that I would get this bad boy. So I have read Lady Susan, and it's hilarious, seriously amazing. But I also have the other 2 that I will eventually get to. And the other one is her teenage writings. This is basically, you know, some of her first work that she ever wrote. And so I just think it'd be really interesting to look at where she started and kind of where she ended up, how her writing changed, how it improved. So yeah, this is just another one I wanted to have to add to my Jane Austen collection. Another book that I bought but do not have with me to show because I actually gave it away to my brother's girlfriend is The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe. And this is a book that I read over the summer for a summer class, and I really enjoyed this book. I thought that it was a great depiction of mental health, and this was really one of the first novels that ever came out that had a protagonist with serious mental health issues, and so it's really interesting to read it and talk about, you know, why it became a banned book and all of the kind of context surrounding it. So I really enjoyed that book. I also got it in the Oxford World Classics edition because I got these while I was in Oxford. Obviously, I want to get the versions that were printed by the Oxford University Press while I was studying there. And so that's another one that I have but can't show you. And the last book that I'm going to show you is a book that I actually didn't buy, but someone had put out on the street because they were moving, and they had a bunch of other books, but by the time I got there was only 2 left, and this was one of them. And they're basically free, said you could take them, and it was Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. So I don't have a copy of this book. Well, now I do. But I was like, oh my gosh, for free, Midnight Sun? Amazing. It's not in the best condition because it was actually like lightly sprinkling when I walked by and saw it sitting on the ground. So it's not in the best condition, but it's not in horrible condition either, and it was free. So that's good condition to me. I've actually yet to read this book. I've read all 4 of the Twilight series, but I have not read this one, so I am interested in reading it eventually. And I never realized how big it was. It's huge. I'm pretty sure it's thicker than Breaking Dawn, and Breaking Dawn was the longest of the books. So it's interesting how this seems like her longest one, and it's just a retelling of Twilight from Edward's perspective, and not even Twilight the whole series. It's like just a retelling of Twilight, the first book. So the fact that it looks like it's like 2 times the length of the first book is interesting. So I'm excited to read it, and I will never say no to a free book, even though this thing is heavy and made some problems with my suitcase, but you know, we gotta bring books back. No regrets. So that is it for all of the books that I got during my travels in the UK. Honestly, it's kind of crazy that I brought 9 books home, but I was there for like 6 weeks, so that's reasonable, I think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and comment about which one of the books that I got have you read and enjoyed, or have you read and didn't enjoy, like The Midnight Library. What did you think about that one? All of the comments. If you want to see more videos from me, then make sure to subscribe so that you never miss another video. I'm going to try to start posting consistently again. It was just crazy when I got back and started school, and life has been hectic. But I have missed making videos, so I'm going to hopefully be able to consistently upload again. And yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.